How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Victor joining us from South Africa. So he's a business coach. So Victor, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for having me on the show, Harry. First of all, pleasure and grateful to be here. So yeah, I mean, if I was going to get right into it and give some people some notes and my 5 steps, if I was to recreate my success and go back to making my first million again, I'd have to say the first and most important one has to be niche. If you're in the wrong niche, if you're in the wrong industry, you're not going to go too far. I think it was Warren Buffett. He said, if you're in the wrong boat, it doesn't matter how hard you row. Or if it doesn't matter how hard you row if you're in the wrong boat. And so it's extremely important to do, your research to make sure that you're getting into something that has longevity, it's profitable and scalable, ideally. After that, I think really a segue into that is due diligence. So once you've identified one or two or three different niches or industries, is to do due diligence to really understand what's the history and the track record of this industry. Is it something that's going to last a long time? Is it a trend or a fad? You really want to make sure that you're doing your research to, again, not just see that this is the opportunity for now, but can you build a long-lasting business that's going to, pay you and your family and your family's family, ideally, down the line. So due diligence is, I think, really, really important, doing heavy research, market research. Then from there, essentially, once you identify the niche and you've chosen your business model, I would definitely get into skill building. Skill building is very, very essential for running a business, of course. Getting into or converting from a 9 to 5 to a business owner is not an easy task. And so you're required to learn a lot of different skill sets to manage this business, to manage the infrastructure and all the nuances. And so the best thing you can do is build those skills on your own before you delegate. I think, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do is to delegate something you don't fully understand, at least on a fundamental level. So yeah, my opinion, the third step would be to build as many skills as possible, at least even just the basics. And then at that point, you can feel comfortable, delegating out and outsourcing. From there, once you have those skill sets, I mean, you want to scale. So I think the fourth step would be effective scaling, right? And just having the ability to, first of all, try and do everything as organic as possible, meaning try to mitigate the amount of spend that you put out, especially as a brand new business. Don't go spending money you don't have or aren't earning yet. And the best way to do that is through organic marketing, right? So I mean, I'm speaking directly mostly to online business, and this applies to some physical businesses. But building a brand, building something where people can see you and get to know you and like you and trust you. And when someone likes, knows, and trusts you, they buy from you, right? So the best you can do that, and the most effectively you can do that in an organic sense without spending any money, is probably the best to just maximize that the output, right? And also, yeah, it helps you reduce a lot of the spend at first. And then from there, I think step number 5, I had to really break it down. I think the most important one would have to be team. So having a good team, once you have the infrastructure, the skills, the team is, you're only going to go as far as your team. The business's worth is only as grand as their team. And so you can go pretty far on your own, but you can go really, really far with the right team. And so you want to try and hire people that have complementary skill sets to you. You have your skill sets as the business owner, you're running the operations, the top of funnel, and you want everyone else to have their skill sets. And ideally, you want them to be better than you at what they do, right? That's how you can actually build a strong team, is because everyone has their strengths, and they are just masters at their own strengths as you were masters at yours. And yeah, after having the team, the niche, the skill building and all that stuff, I think, if you do things correctly, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make your first million. And I think the step 6 is patience. I have to add patience in there. It's a really important one. Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so that's my 5 steps, I guess, if you had to throw me out there and give people my opinion. Yeah.
So Victor, tell us, why do you decide to become an entrepreneur? There is an entrepreneur in your family. You read the book. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur and create your own job, basically?
Yeah, great question. Great question. Thanks. So I'm actually the only entrepreneur in my family. So there was quite a bit of resistance when I was trying to talk them into the life that I was choosing. I just think I was born for it. And I say that because I Bluntly, I'm a horrible employee. I've never been able to keep a job for too long, but I've always been a really good leader, and I've always been very inclined to do things that were passionate to me, and I always did them so well, and I could stick to something that I was passionate about forever. But I really just maybe always had an issue with authority, not in a sense where I'm not respecting, my elders or anything. I do, but I have these two fears. I guess I've always had these two fears that I'm afraid to not live up to my maximum potential, and I'm afraid to build someone else's dream, and those don't really coincide with being an employee. So I had to do something else. And I tried many businesses, many businesses, and I failed many businesses. Also, a topic I want to talk about is how much I actually failed before I succeeded. And I think it's a beautiful thing to really just, it really should be, it should be something that should be talked about more, how great it is to fail and how much growth and how success actually comes after failure. But yeah, if I had to say it, it's mostly just the fact that I never felt inclined to do something in the 9 to 5 world. I'm not good at it, number one, which helped. And number two, I just always had this big vision, big dreams. I wanted to take care of my family, which I now do. I retired my mom, I retired my girlfriend, and I take care of the people around me. And I can't do that on a 9 to 5 salary for the most part. And so, yeah, those are just the inclinations that led to the decisions that were made.
So, Victor, tell us about those business that you had before that failed, and what was the main reason?
Which one was the main business you said?
Can you describe some of the business that you had before that failed, and what was the main reason?
Right. Yeah. So, oh man, I mean, I tried literally everything, almost every multi-level marketing that there is out there. I even did door-to-door sales, and then I started a drop shipping store, Amazon FBA. I bought vending machines and ATMs, and like everything under the sun I tried, and I really gave it an honest shot. So it wasn't just like dabbling. I really tried them, and I'm not dismissing those businesses. They are good for some people, and maybe they were better at different times. But when I tried them, it just didn't work. So I really just was getting hit over and over and over, and ego just going down and down, and family coming up and saying it's not working, it's not working. So in between that time, my parents did convince me that I should probably just go to school and just try and get a degree. Worst case, as a plan B. And I love my parents and I respect them, so I did. I went to school. I could not bear the idea of doing 4 years in a long time, so I had to do accelerated courses. So I did it in half the time, which was a huge challenge because I mean I'm not really gifted when it comes to, again, schoolwork and things that are more formal, but when it comes to things for myself, I feel that's where my gifts are. So it was really difficult. And at the same time of doing school, I was also training for a bodybuilding show. I was working a part-time job, and I was in a very toxic relationship. So there was a lot happening at that time, but we pushed through. And so I got my degree, which is good. Just I made them happy. I had the piece of paper, and I said, okay, it's time for me to go back. I have to go back to my roots, my North Star. And so I kept going through businesses, and again, still kept failing. Finally, I launched a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency. And what's beautiful here, and I think a message I also want to say is, all these things, they were failures because they didn't make money, but realistically, they were stepping stones, right? So for example, this marketing agency, it was a full scale agency, meaning I did ads, I did Facebook groups, I did websites, I did all these different things. These were all skills that I built through all my failed businesses. They didn't make me anything. At the time, it felt irrelevant. It felt like these were just things that I wasted time learning this and this and this, and never actually turned into anything. I never actually got to see any fruit of the labor. Then comes the marketing agency, and all these skill sets that I needed were crucial for success. And it was beautiful because I scaled, to $30,000 a month, which is a beautiful thing. But only because of those stepping stones. And so that's why I want to say it's such a beautiful thing to just put yourself out there to learn new things. You have no idea when they will come and into fruition and be necessary for that success you're looking for. I think there's a beautiful story. Many people know it. It's like the person that's drowning in the ocean, and then the one boat comes and they say, no, God will save me. The next boat, no, God will save me. The third one, the person drowns, goes up to heaven. Why didn't you save me? I sent all these boats, right? And so that same mentality applies. It's like this boat will come for you. And if you're not prepared mentally for it, if you haven't built the skill sets, it will pass by, right? And so it's such an important thing. And I like to just reinforce for everyone, don't be afraid of failure. Put yourself out there, the beauty will
100%,
come. So.
Victor. 100%. I think that it's the same case. In my family, I was the first entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, my
Beautiful.
grandpa was an entrepreneur, but we have a small business, but that was a long time ago. So I got my parents that they're teachers, and I have my family, and then I'm starting my own business. Yeah, then my parents, they want me to go to university. They want me to have a degree. That's what all parents. That's the advice that you get. Look, this is how
Right.
they tell you. This is how it's gonna work. You go to
Yeah,
university, you get the highest degree as possible, and then you're gonna find a job, and everything's gonna be fine. But that didn't work for me. I got a degree. I never been got a degree in chemical engineering, and I never
nice.
practiced as chemical engineer. And
Yeah,
then again, your family, right? I remember my mom when I started my first business. When I said, "Mom, I'm gonna expand," my mom said, "Expand? No, no. Why do you need to expand? No expansion, no expansion." And I think that that it's enough. That's what she was saying, right? Obviously, they want to keep you safe. On the
yeah,
other
of course.
hand, on the other
Safe
hand,
and scalable.
you have this path that you're going through, which is exactly what you described. That being an entrepreneur is a skill set. It's like
Right.
driving or swimming.
Mm.
The more you
Hmm.
practice, the better you become. And
Absolutely.
I love the analogy that you share with us about the boats, right? Is that to become an entrepreneur, you have to develop a skill, right? And having multiple business and fail at multiple business um, will accelerate you to get this skill. I remember I have a property business. We managed to sell over 5 million, but honestly, I learned more about business when I opened one restaurant and lost 200,000 pounds. I'm based in Britain, United Kingdom. And so when I lost money, then I learned a lot.
Absolutely.
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 Unbelievable, but this is how actually it works. So the and sometimes, and this is what we're gonna the next question, Victor. Uh, Sometimes we have challenges with entrepreneurs go to this phase, which is 0 to 1 million. That when you say, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna bring you a coach like Victor, right, which is a business coach who already achieved your success that can actually excel your business." We have a lot of entrepreneurs that have a lot of resistance against coaching. They have this mindset that ego, oh, I'm gonna make it by my own, and I know everything. And I get it. We all have that at the beginning. But the more we manage that ego, and I mean, this ego is there anyway. Otherwise, we won't be able to start the business because we have this ego that is the drive force that is
Of
making us to
course.
move forward,
Absolutely.
that we can do it by ourselves,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we all got that. Yeah. However, if we don't manage this ego properly, it's really harmful for you and for the company. And because sometimes it goes in a way, and you really think that you know everything, and you really think that you can do everything, and you really think that everybody have to do what you say, and you have all the truth, and you're the only, you build this, and everybody, and uh, and with this mindset, we're not gonna go so far, Victor, right?
Not at
And
all.
but there are those entrepreneurs with that mindset. When you go and say, "Hey, I get a coach like Victor that can help you with the business," he will say, "No, I can do it on my own." Then you find people, which is sad entrepreneurs, working Monday to Sunday, is worse than a job. They are stuck, and they're not speaking with the family. They're not speaking with the children. They they're trapped in the business, and that ego doesn't allow them to go and ask for help, and to go and to find a coach that actually can help them. So, in your view, Victor, how we can mitigate this issue that we have with entrepreneurs that actually is affecting them to move forward?
Yeah, good build up and great question. I don't know really about how we can mitigate it, but I think understanding it helps. So like why does it happen to begin with, right? Um, I have to say it's probably three reasons. It'd have to be fear, limiting beliefs, and accessible funds. I have to say those are probably the three. So fear, it would probably be either like fear of success is a one actually is a crazy one that a lot of people have. You would never imagine, or many people would never imagine, but fear of success is a huge thing. Even though you're striving to build a large business, a lot of people actually have a fear of success. And so it's crazy, it's very backwards. And when you study it, you really understand that like it hits a lot of people. So fear of
100%.
success could prevent someone from, yeah, exactly, right. And so fear of success could definitely prevent someone from hiring a coach because they actually know it could help them, but they're afraid to do it because the other side is scary. It's intimidating, right? Limiting beliefs, it's kind of in the same essence of the fear. They don't actually believe that they can reach those goals. They want them, but subconsciously they don't believe they can. And so those limiting beliefs will actually limit them from making the right decisions or limit their ability to to choose something that's going to help them tread that path a lot more easier, and actually lead them to success. So I think limiting beliefs maybe is very similar to fears, but yeah, it's another thing. And then, accessible funds. Some people just genuinely don't have the funds to pay for a mentor, which is, totally fair as well. In that sense, it's always best to do it on your own and figure things out until you build more, or, get a part-time job on the side or something to build an income. Because I have gone to the point, of course, I'm at a point now where I don't have to worry too much about, funds, but I got to a point where I chose based on my past experiences that I will never learn something without a mentor. It doesn't make sense to do things on my own. There's too much resistance. There's too much additional effort. The learning curve is too slow. It doesn't make sense, and our most valuable asset is not the money that we spend on the mentor. It's the time that we lose. It's the opportunity cost. Why would you trade something that's this physical worthless thing for something that's the most worthy thing in the world, which is our time, right? So that's the kind of thing where if we need to really start reassessing like what are the priorities and what's the most valuable thing here. Is it you not succeeding, or is it you succeeding and having taken way longer because of this ego block, or again limiting belief, or again funds, which really those funds, if you have those funds and you can sparingly use them, but you don't want to because you're afraid, or again limiting beliefs, or because the ego, you need to really consider what's more valuable than the ego, than the business, and the money is the time. The quickest we can get to the end result, and of course I want everyone to enjoy the journey is amazing, but the quicker that we can get to the point where we're financially free and we can start taking care of our family and our bloodline, the better. Because I don't know if anyone wants to be enjoying their millions of dollars at 70 years old. They want to enjoy them, early as possible. And so, yeah, I think that's, maybe I summed it up a little bit too broad, but that's kind of my perceptions.
Yeah, I think that the other day here in the in this broadcast, one entrepreneur was sharing a story that that he had been interviewing this podcast. He has over 40 exits, over 1 million each. And
Wow.
and he said, okay. And he said, he told me that he moved to Colorado. He wanted to do property business, right? And and he told me, and I started, and after 2 years now I have a great property portfolio. And I asked him, wow, so how you did it? And he told me, guess what I did? I arrived to Colorado, I took a lot of money, and I paid this to a coach that showed me how everything.
There you
And
go.
then this is how I made it so quickly. So what illustrates
Beautiful.
that, someone that have over 40 exits, over over 1 million each, is someone that have deep understanding of business, how business run. And even so, he didn't try to do this property thing by himself. Yeah, he knew that, well, hold on, I know how to run a business, I know how to span a business, I know how to build a multi-million pound business. It's no problem for me. However, I need a coach. I need someone that show me the techniques, the differentiation of this particular business property that he honestly didn't know anything about it. So
Yeah.
the wealthy, the successful people, the multimillionaires, this is how they operate. They have several, not only one, they have several coaches, several mentors in different areas,
Absolutely.
health, business. That's how they operate, right? And then we have on the other side the other entrepreneurs that they are in this journey to go to 0 to 1, and they um, they are stuck. But I think that sometimes people are also afraid to hire the wrong coach, and a lot of stories because it's if a coach comes and tell you what you want to hear, you say, "Wow, this is my this person gonna be great to help me in my business." However, there are a lot of business coaches out there that never has a business themselves, and there is so many business coaches helping you how to make a million that never make a million themselves in their life, and this is something, and I can tell when by the way that they speak, by the way that or by the things they say. Only someone that has
Yeah,
made a million before will recognize if the person has made a million or not. That makes sense.
absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so, Victor, tell us some steps or some suggestions that you have for entrepreneurs out there, how to hire the right coach. Because I think that this is what the issue is. Because if somebody hire a wrong coach and things go wrong, they might have this assumption. Okay, I never hire any coach again for anything. However, we have to be the opposite. You have to develop the skill to hire the right coach, to hire the right mentor that help you. So what people can do out there to hire the right business coach or the right coach for the business. I'm also coach, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
mean,
we're
yeah,
defending
things.
the whole the
Yes,
whole.
exactly. The whole community. Absolutely. So I think everything comes down to due diligence, and just being meticulous in like having a bit of intuition, but also doing due diligence. So intuition meaning like if you're looking at a coach and everything that he's telling you are these big grand numbers, $1 million or $10,000 a month in the first 2 months or something guaranteed, if it sounds unreasonable, it probably is. If it sounds way too good to be true, it probably is. And then, of course, it doesn't mean that it's just dismissing it. You still have to go further and do some more research. But it depends on how someone is marketing themselves. There's a line between authentic and in your face, scammy, and look at the way that they're marketing. Are they trying to attract you with genuine, authentic value? Or is it them in front of the Lamborghini constantly in Dubai, flexing numbers and screenshots? And so if you get kind of conned into that, it's mostly just because you're acting on desperate need, right? So you desperately need that outcome, and you're blinding yourself to, is this actually having my genuine interest at heart, or they're just trying to make money off of me? And you can tell really by just like how much effort they're putting in providing value and actually trying to talk to these people versus just throw all these end goal, superficial results and outcomes in your face and using those as leverage to captivate people. So I really think marketing strategies say a lot about a coach. So I personally don't do that, right? Like people really give me a lot of appreciation that I'm not flexing this and flexing that. Of course, I show some stuff so that people know I make some money. You have to. You can't look broke and tell people they can make money. But I don't go above and beyond with this like super lavish, opulent prime marketing, because it attracts the wrong people, and it does give that scammy look. So I think due diligence and using a bit of intuition and common sense is first and foremost. But second of all is another really important thing to note, which is building up a level of resilience, because you might do due diligence and still get burned. You might have done all your research and still gotten burned. And it's so important to not let that determine and dictate future actions. Because just one example, it's like if you were in fifth grade and you met a girl, she's the most beautiful girl, and you went and dated her, and then she cheated on you, and this happened way back in grade 5. And then you made this mental note that, well, girls are bad and they're going to cheat on me, so I'm never going to go for another girl again. And this now prevented you from having, you know, your future wife, your future kids and family and generations. But that one decision that you opted out because of a bad experience now changed the fate of your life and what could have been an amazing family, amazing wife, etc. And so you cannot let, you know, a bad decision or maybe even two determine future decisions. You need to grow from them, of course. Don't make the same decision twice, the same mistake twice. You know, do some more additional research. If you've messed up because this person did this, try and avoid those signals. But yeah, I think a really, really important message here I want to get across is don't let one bad experience or a couple bad experiences prevent you from the future that you're looking for, because there are good people out there with good intentions and there are bad people out there. You just need to, you know, sometimes sift through the bad, sift through the weeds to find the right flower. But anyways, I think I've gotten that point across.
And then, Victor, now let's talk about developing the skill, because you talk about network marketing and I did network marketing as well. And actually, I love it. The reason for that is because I think that that help entrepreneurs to
Yes.
start to develop some skills about team building and leadership that are actually key in on your journey as an entrepreneur. So a lot of people say, well, um, this network marketing um, uh, business. See, I didn't make any money. I didn't work. Blah blah blah. But if you look deep, uh, even if it doesn't work, you're gonna learn and you pay attention what's going on. You're gonna have three very powerful things about network marketing. You're gonna develop some leadership skills. You're gonna develop some team building skills, and you're gonna learn how to sell. You need to learn how
Yeah.
to sell,
Amen.
how to communicate the benefits effectively, and these skills are key in order for uh, when you want to move forward your career as an entrepreneur. So, how network marketing actually help you in your career as an entrepreneur, Victor?
Oh, beautiful question. I love network marketing, and not in a sense, I wouldn't go back to it now, but I'm so grateful that it was a part of my life and part of my journey, very similar to you, right? So that was actually my first experience as like running a business, a contractor type of business. And I got kind of lucky in a sense. Like the first business I got into, I found out later it was a scam. I'll get to that. I didn't know any better, but I got to the point where in 3 months, I was already at the place where I was supposed to be earning around like 20,000 MRR, like monthly recurring revenue. I built up a big team. I saw the vision. It was good. And I put myself out there. I messaged everyone. I got more no's than I could ever imagine, you know? But that was an amazing thing that was for me. It was getting out of my comfort zone and, you know, going for the, like, that's one thing I love about network marketing is you will get so many no's, more no's than you've ever like imagined could have been possible. And that's so beautiful. Resilience, you know, you'll build this skill set and this resilience. But I got to the point where I was making a bunch of money, and then I didn't actually even get the cash out. Right before my payday came, the company got taken down for fraud. So big learning lesson there. But what's cool was that it inspired me and it showed me, wow, I created this. I created a team, and I went through all this, you know, crazy tribulation to get this team, and this is the potential outcome. And so it just opened every door possible for me. It shined a light on what my life could look like. And then from there, I did hop from MLM to MLM and trying different things. And they just weren't for me until I got into actual like running my own business. But yes, like you said, it team building, leadership. Like I was hosting, you know, in-home meetings with like 20, 30 people, speaking in front of these people. And prior to this, I'd never spoken in front of a crowd or imagined I would ever speak in front of a crowd ever. It never made sense to me. But I had to put myself in that position where I was building a team, and the stronger my team, the more money I would make. And so it was this effect where all these skills that I never imagined I needed were being built because they were required. And actually the main thing, if you really put an overarching, it was personal development. It introduced me to personal development. I had to develop myself as a person to be more open, more confident, and be more articulate and all these different things. Otherwise, people would not take me seriously. Who would take someone seriously who can't even string a sentence together, who can't talk in front of a group of people? Nobody will listen to you. Nobody will allow you to lead. And so personal development was probably the overarching top of funnel skill that really came out of it, which then again transverse to everything else in business. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm also grateful for the network marketing. I
Yeah.
did learn a lot. It was a lot of fun. Again, the the network marketing companies. Just for everyone listening, just remember, yeah, when a network marketing company say, "Well, this is so new, nobody else is doing it. We're just starting. You're gonna be the first ones to be the whole thing." Well, it's a
Wow. Yeah.
huge risk.
Yeah.
You better off with companies that are already around 4, 6, 10 years, because that demonstrates that the compensation plan is sustainable, which is
Yeah.
probably the main reason why all network marketing companies out there fail.
Stick.
So if you're listening to the podcast, this is
Yeah.
my humble opinion, right? It's not
Yeah.
that it's not gonna work, because those ones that have last started from the beginning with and they were beaten little by little, but just keep an eye and be more and expand your due diligence, as Victor we're talking about
Yes.
in the companies that in the new network marketing companies, because they are a huge risk, because the compensation plan has to be sustainable, and the easiest way to prove a sustainable compensation plan is if the
It's good to
company
pay.
if the company managed to survive 4, 5, 10 years,
Yeah.
well, you have better chance that everything is already working out. It's very difficult to make a
Yes.
compensation plan for a network marketing company.
Yeah.
Sustainable
Yeah.
design a sustainable compensation plan is complex for network marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like they no, most of them design this company just to a scam or you lose the money. It's just that it's really complex to design, and when it's not um, effective and well designed, it doesn't it doesn't add up, and that's the main reason why the companies fail. And also licensing as well, because to operate a network marketing company, you need different licenses in different countries, because different
Right.
countries have rules and
Absolutely. Of
regulations, and what you
course.
can do in US you cannot do in UK, and X, Y, and Z. So that's also compliance is also a big stopper for those companies. But on the positive note, they give you the first business in the box. You actually don't need to build the
Yes.
business from scratch. You you learn how to sell one to many or one to one. Exactly how you said. If you speak in the presentation, this is one of the things that I train people around the world, is how to present one to many, how to speak in public, or how to present your business in public and sell your products and services from the stage. So it will that actually the my workshop speakers and leaders, it was designed to train my own team in the network marketing company, so they can all go out and present. Now the network marketing company is not around anymore, and the workshop become worldwide famous.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
that's how things work. So Victor, if somebody is in love with our conversation and they want to know more about you, how they can find you, how this process works.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best place to find me is probably on Instagram, just because we can actually chat. So I talk all about what my business actually is. I know we didn't really go into that because I think I mentioned the last one I had was the marketing agency that didn't really work out after COVID. Then I got into YouTube automation. So what I currently do is YouTube automation, where we essentially automate YouTube channels and we create content without showing our face or creating the videos
Ah,
ourselves. So we actually
wow. Wow.
so we
Tell
delegate.
us a little bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
about this.
Yeah, it's really, really
Super
interesting.
cool, no?
It's very, very cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's really interesting because it's great for like introverted people specifically, because you don't have to show your face, you don't create the videos. We actually hire teams that create the content for us. I'm talking like documentaries, tech videos, celebrity videos. We never show our face. We just delegate that all to freelancers. You have script writers and voiceover artists and video editors. And the whole process is that we create videos, and when we post them, they get views. And YouTube will always run ads on our content, which is very, very cool. And so when those ads are run, we get compensated. So it's a really unique business model because there's no point of sale. We don't have to sell to anyone. We don't talk to people. There's no fulfillment. There's no sales. There's no email marketing. There's no campaigns. There's no paid ads. There's literally nothing. We just create content, people watch it, and then we get compensated. And so that's what I ended up teaching, because I got really good at the business model myself. And that's kind of where I built my coaching company and how I got to my recent success. But yeah, if anyone wanted to do a business model where they didn't have to put themselves out there, which is a very interesting one and very, very profitable, very, very scalable. That's a really interesting model. I did a lot of different businesses, as I mentioned. Some of them did really well. Most of them did nothing. But I was never able to make this kind of money because, again, it's very scalable. It's very profitable. And I could just pass this on to anyone. I could teach my mom. I could teach my friends. I'd teach everyone, which is what I do currently. And it's a really interesting business model. It's here to last, to say the least. So if anyone, is at any degree interested, on Instagram, you can find me at Victor Catrina, so Catrina with a C. And just hit me up. I can send you a booking link. We could chat and see if it's a fit to work together and go from there. But yeah, thank you, Harry.
Wow, Victor, that has been fantastic. Thank you so much. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable: How Brave Entrepreneur like Victor break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.